Good morning. How are you today? I thought I'd jump on live today because I've not gone live in such a long time on Instagram. And I'm sure many of you are at work right now, but I thought, now I've got a little quiet moment. I'm going to jump on, having a nice quiet day today after having my 2 and 4-year-old at home for the last 3 days because my 4-year-old came home from school sick. So it's just nice to have a little bit of breathing space today. But I just wanted to jump on in relation to a post that I did yesterday. It was very short and sweet, and I was just saying about, don't let other people's opinions of what your vision is for what you're doing, if it's in a business, or a new venture that you've got an idea about, don't let other people thinking small make you shrink your vision. And I just wanted to share a few little experiences that I've had as well. So I've been an entrepreneur since I was 25. I'm going to be 40 this coming July. So most of my life I've been self-employed, and I've run different businesses and just kind of finding my feet and finding what's in alignment with me. Some things worked, some things just weren't what I thought they were going to be, and decided to move on. But definitely in the last 10 years, health and wellness and supporting people with their mindset has become my thing because I'm so passionate about it. So it doesn't feel like work. It feels easy to share that. But there was definitely times, especially early on in my journey, where people would say, well, that's not going to work, and people can't build things online, and you can't use social media for that, and no one else has done that around here, and that type of thing. So my 2 businesses, I have my Retox Yoga and Mindfulness retreats, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of story about that in a second, but also my social marketing business, for mind, body and skin. And that especially, like social marketing, 10 years ago, people didn't understand it. They didn't think it worked. They thought it was for people that didn't have a job. Obviously, I came up against lots of objections and lots of people almost trying to put their scarcity of it on me. And it takes a lot of strength to push through that. But I think because I'd been in business for myself before that, I had such an open mind, and I'd had a taste of what it was like to have leverage in a business, where you're earning on hours that you're not physically working, that I just thought this is too good not to go for. And again, with the yoga retreats, there wasn't that much. There was a lot of yoga classes going on in the area, but not so many retreats. And I just thought, what a better way than to bring everything for mind and body together in a unique way. But obviously the last 18 months have been very tough on that business because it relies on people being together in that community environment, sharing a breathing space. So we just weren't allowed to operate. And we came out of COVID, and we did have to cancel, not the last retreat. That one was a huge success, and it's definitely lifted my spirits about where we're going moving forward, and we've got some big plans in place. But the one before that, even though the restrictions were down, I think people were very nervous. A lot of people using track and trace were getting pinged, and we had to cancel it. Now, for a lot of people, they may have seen that as a failure. It's not working. I'm going to give up on this. And this is the thing, sometimes when things are going wrong, we start to look at life and that situation almost through a straw. We become very focused on what's not working rather than stepping up and stepping back and looking at the bigger vision of things. So I decided to push forward. I decided to continue to plan the next event, and just to get excited about it rather than worrying that the same thing was going to happen again. And we had a sold out event, and it was amazing. And we've now got 2 more events booking up really fast for next year, plus a full weekend retreat. So I just want to say, when the obstacles come up, and they do for everybody, whatever industry you're in, there's going to be times where you feel like you're hitting a big wall, and I've been there time and time again. But that's when you need to really switch on the entrepreneurial mindset of not, I can't do this, but I want you to think, how can I make this work? How could it be better? How can I bring more energy? How can I up my marketing? How can I surround myself with a team of other people that are on the same mission? So whether you're in social marketing, whether you run a small business, a shop, or you run events, like myself, then there's always going to be setbacks. And you've just got to be careful as well who you're surrounding yourself and taking advice from. So for a lot of people, they will ask for the opinion of a business venture from someone that's never been in business by themselves, and maybe is really kind of stuck in that employee mindset. And there's nothing wrong with that, but if you want to be an entrepreneur, that employee mindset will not serve you. So this is where personal development comes in, reading books about your industry and about growing into becoming an entrepreneur. And there's so many books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki is a really good one to start with. And it's about shifting. Another one, Making the Shift. That is an incredible, especially as an audiobook, Making the Shift. And that is kind of guiding you through how to come out of that employee mindset into an entrepreneurial mindset. But just be careful who you take advice from. Someone that's more successful, and everyone has their own idea of what success is. I think success is someone that absolutely loves what they do for a living, because we're here on this planet to love, to love what we do, to love who we're surrounded by. So I think success, it's not always about the money and the titles and that type of thing. It's about someone loving their day-to-day life and what they're doing and what they're bringing, and giving out to other people. So someone that's where you want to be in your industry, they would never put scarcity and doubt into your mind. Whereas someone that's maybe less successful, who's not where you want to be. So I want you to think about if someone's in a position that you wouldn't want to be in, maybe it's someone that's working a job that they hate and, it's making them miserable. It's taking advice from the right people, isn't it? Because there's so much fear out there in the world right now as well. So when someone thinks about starting a new venture or starting a new business, a lot of people will impress fear on you. Oh, it's not a great time, I can tell you now, there will never, ever, ever, ever be a perfect time to do anything. One of the fastest growing times in my kind of business life was the busiest year of my life, because I was pregnant with my third child. I've got 4 little ones now. But that year, when I had the most momentum in business that I'd ever experienced, I was so busy. It was not the perfect time, but that's the whole point. There's never a perfect time. Good morning everybody. So yeah, that year I was planning my wedding, we got married, we had to move house because the house we were in had some very dangerous damp going on in the wall that we weren't aware of. So we quickly had to almost evacuate that house, and a baby was on the way. But it was irrelevant. And then sometimes when we put things off and we think, do you know what, I'm going to start that venture, or I'm going to start to move my business forward, maybe in the new year. So a lot of people will be doing that now. They'll be like, oh, it's Christmas and I'm getting really busy. In January, I'm gonna get serious. I'm gonna knuckle down. I'm gonna focus, and I'm gonna take it to that next level. Well, that's a mindset that you can almost get trapped in for months, for years. That I'll do it next month. I'll do it next month. So it's just deciding, what do you want? Knowing there's never going to be a perfect time. This last 18 months for everybody, everyone's world in some shape or form, whether that was not seeing loved ones or it was affecting the business or the work, everyone got flipped upside down. And I was so fortunate to have 2 businesses, one that totally stopped and one that continued, luckily, because it was online. But people got shook up to the core, didn't they? So what I want you to do is really just delve into personal development. If you want book recommendations, I've got some kind of starter personal development books, a list on my website, which is michellevodden.com. But look after and protect your mindset. Be really wary of who you're taking advice from. If you feel like you're not surrounded by people that get your vision or your goals for what you're doing, then what I would say is plug into people that do. Find a podcast, find an entrepreneur that's where you want to be, that inspires you and that you can relate to. Because I think that's it sometimes, isn't it? We look at people and think, oh yeah, but it's all right for them, but I've got a family and I've got a job and I'm juggling all these things. I can promise you, whatever it is that you're aiming for, there will be someone out there in the same position who's done it. So follow these people and surround yourself. Listen to these people, listen to audios, listen to podcasts. Pick up books that are going to lift you up and inspire you. This one I've got, which I'm using on a morning at the moment, because I have a Be Well community club. So we do 5 minutes of reading each morning. So this is the Vex King new book, Healing is the New High. It's amazing. I love it because it's incorporating the science, behind yoga practice into your everyday life. So I love that. But you might want something a bit more entrepreneurial. Something like Atomic Habits. That's an incredible book. If you feel like you've got all these dreams and these visions and you know what you want to do, but you just can't seem to find the discipline on a day-to-day basis to make it happen, then reading books about habits, I would definitely say do that. And Eat That Frog. If you are a procrastinator, there's a really small book, you could read it in a couple of days, called Eat That Frog, and it will help you to stop procrastinating and do the main things first, the things that are going to move you forward, rather than avoiding them because it might be a little bit uncomfortable and doing everything else out there, like organising your stationery or doing social media posts, instead of actually doing that daily method of operation that's going to move you forward. So yes, as I started and as I'll end in my post yesterday, take that crazy vision that you've got and build on it and go to work on it. Don't be afraid of it. So many people are afraid of success, and that's definitely something I've had to work through. Don't be afraid of it. Get excited about doing the work. It takes work to succeed in anything, but it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it along the way. So have a fabulous Friday, everybody. And have a great weekend. And the last top tip would be Sunday night, map out next week. Figure out when you're working on this vision, this business, this venture. Can you spare little pockets of time? What are you going to do in those pockets of time? And you will be so much more productive by doing that and mapping that out. And any questions, comment them below and I can maybe do another live and answer them for you. Bye everyone, lots of love.